Okay, this is the last video I'm doing of Angeles City in the Philly Willy. Let's get into it, folks. I know what you're thinking, folks. All hooks in Angeles City are enjoying their daily D. And I ain't talking about vitamin D, if you can read between the lines here. Disclaimer before we carry on. I don't know who told you that they all enjoy the D, but it's quite disgusting. The fact is, the D from foreigners actually does hurts the girls, from what I've heard. The girls are working 9 to 5 at the office. Well, I mean, their office is in front of the Phillies bar. These girls are not beggars. These girls are not graduates of Beggar University, but they understand the importance of give and take. They don't want to beg for money, because they know if you beg for money, you're going to be dealing with 5 pesos here and 10 pesos there. These are girls who want the big bucks. These girls work in 1,000 peso notes, folks. Simply put, these girls want to exchange services for El Pesos, the oldest job in history. These are girls who have a master's degree in Accione. So when it comes to the pain game, folks, there are only a few girls who are feeling the pain, okay? And these are the girls who have just arrived in Angeles City. The ones that don't have much experience with foreigners. Those are the ones that find it painful with the old 9 to 5. Now, I know what you're probably thinking here, folks. If I rent a girl for the night, I definitely don't want her to go home afterwards and explain to her father that some guy, his own age, the father's own age, was taking advantage of her. I mean, come on. 65 and 18. I mean, come on, folks. The girl's dad is gonna be pissed. And trust me, folks, you do not want a pissed off slum father. I mean, look, he's only gonna be pissed off if you don't pay, if you don't tip. So just pay her, just give her a slight little tip of a couple 100 pesos and be a good grandpa. Let's move on to number 2. Many people new to Angeles City don't realize the extent of the Ladyboy situation and the Ladyboy mafia in Angeles. As I've heard, they are quite the group. Very well organized and highly efficient. Now, what are these Ladyboys' goals? I mean, they must have some objective, folks. And I'll tell you exactly what their objective is. They tell you that they will pay you for free, okay? They just want you to get interested in them. Now, first of all, let me preface by saying, I'm surprised how many men are into Ladyboys. I mean, it's kind of freaky deaky if you ask me. I mean, look, the female looking person has a D. I mean, you're into that? Surprised. I'm as surprised as you are. A lot of guys are into that. I've talked to guys who know all about the Ladyboys thing. I mean, when you're sitting at Philly's bar, you'll be surprised how the conversations go. I mean, these people know the dealio, but they say, they give great DJs. I mean, look, this is their words, not mine. I ain't interested. Okay, well, if you're willing to allow this freak into your hotel room or your apartment, then go right ahead. But remember one thing. Keep your eyes on your wallet and do not allow the Ladyboy to be alone. Because if they're alone, you have no idea what you're getting yourself up to, folks. Let's move on to number 3. Being 18, of course. I mean, you gotta read between the lines here, folks. We are on YouTube. We gotta keep this PC, but you do get the drift. Poverty really F's people up. F's up their families. But for this one, folks, just like I said, read between the lines. Reality is reality. You see them there on the street in Angeles City. You know what they're up to. You can be as upset as you want, but you got to remember, the world is a sad place. The world is a tough place for half the world's population. You just are surprised to know about it because, you were raised with the white picket fence lifestyle. Now, you got guys like this who are really into, oh my God, the kindergarten stuff, visiting slums, visiting children in the slums. Unfortunately, guys like this do exist, and they are really into Angeles City because, what they like is available. Barangay girls, you know what I'm talking about, folks. Now, what I suggest for you, and when you do see barangay girls, I suggest you bring them to Ace Bachelor El Coolio, because Ace has confirmed that he is willing to start Beggar University. He is interested in getting these girls off the street as everyone else is. So let's give Ace a round of applause. I remember during the pandemic, I'd see a vlogger such as Philly Willy in the Philippines. He'd be walking up and down Walking Street. You know, he's filming Walking Street before when it was allowed. It's not allowed now, but it was allowed before when Philly Willy was jailed during the pandemic. And I was in Korea at the time. I was obsessed with the Philippines vloggers. So I'm watching Philly Willy walk up and down Walking Street, and I'm thinking like, dang, cuz, they ain't no customers. Now, for some reason, all the girls were still outside on Walking Street during the pandemic. But there were zero people, zero customers, right? But you had, 10 girls outside the bars. I'm thinking, how is this working? Later, I learned that they were bringing in customers from the back doors, something like that. I'm not sure. But lucky for those foreigners who were in the Philippines during the pandemic, they had quite the experience that nobody else had. I mean, my thinking is like this, okay? These bar owners have to pay rent, pay salaries, pay bribes. So at the end of the month, why is it even worth it? Well, I happen to have talked to a bar owner while I was in Angeles, a foreigner bar owner in Angeles. Now, he was telling me his bar makes about 10 million pesos a month. Okay, from there, 3 million goes to bribes, 1 million goes to salaries, 3 million in rent. So the bar owner is making 3 million pesos a month, which is, I mean, could you live off of that? That's pretty good dough. There is more to Angeles City than nightlife and hookers and barangay girls and begging and Cialis. I mean, you have to look at the bright side of things, folks. Angeles City has SM Mall. Okay, let's move on. No, let's stick to the subject, folks. Let's elaborate here. There is more to Angeles City than SM Mall when it comes to positivity. We got food from around the world. We have mountains that can be hiked on a day trip if you're into that kind of thing. On top of everything I have just mentioned, just breathe in the air, folks. The beautiful air. Not in Angeles. I mean, breathe in the air from nearby Subic Bay. Remember, Subic Bay is nearby Angeles, and you can breathe in clean air. Listen, folks, I'd be lying to you if I say that nobody in the history of Angeles City has ever been mugged, has ever been beat, has ever been murdered, tortured, buried alive. But just forget that, okay? Let's think positive. Personally, I was living in Angeles City for many months. Well, 3 months to be exact. That's all I could handle, but nothing happened to me while I was there. I was safe as can be, folks. And I even had my NMAX parked in the parking area of my building, and nothing happened to it. But I was worried that somebody would maybe punch a hole in the tire or something, disconnect the brakes, or even steal my bike completely. I mean, I did get word that some people, some trolls, were looking for my house. And everyone knows what my scooter looks like, my NMAX looks like with the gold bars, and it was basically parked on the street. So I was worried somebody was going to find it. But at the end, over 3 months, nothing happened to it. It was safe as can be, and I walked around with money on me, even at night. In sketchy areas, nothing happened. But maybe, it's the luck of the draw. I got one friend who was walking in daylight and his phone was snatched by some slum kids, some boys. But all in all, the guys I talked to, the general theory is that nobody has ever had a problem in Angeles City, including myself. Now, Filipinos are very unique. They have names for places that are very unique, such as Samar Street. Now, let's get into the history of Walking Street. Now, Pattaya was the first to name its street Walking Street, okay? And Angeles City was the second city in the world to name its Monger Street Walking Street. So now we got 2 streets on the planet named Walking Street. So the question is, folks, who was the first and who was the second? Who copied from the other? This is not up for debate, folks. I mean, it's just one of those things. In the Philippines, if someone starts something successful, another will move right in next door and do the exact same thing. So it's kind of known as a place that likes to copy. But when it comes to Walking Street, the name, I've been told that the Filipinos didn't even know about the Pattaya Walking Street when they thought of the name Walking Street in Angeles. So I'll take him at his word. You know, I'll consider it a done case. Walking Street is an original name in the Philippines, and it was not copied by the master copiers. Absolutely not. Now let's get on to number 8, folks. Not a family-friendly destination? Are you kidding me? You have your wife and your little bong bong, okay? Now, what does bong bong want more than a strip show? Wait a second. Bong bong is only 8 years old? In grade 2? Excuse me? He is not allowed to check out the baby-roonies in the bar. I'm sorry. I do apologize. He must stay in the hotel. But let me give you some advice here, folks. If you do bring your family, your wife, your children to Angeles City, just live the Philly Willy in the Philippines lifestyle. Stay at home and watch TV, sucker. And the reason I say stay at home and watch TV is because, let me tell you, folks, your wife may be bisexual and you just don't know it. And if you let her loose, if you let her off her chain, she may find something a little on the better side of things. I mean, listen, folks, she may be down with the sausage of love. But folks, let me tell you something. She prefers something a little on the innie side of things. That means she will be at Philly's bar finding a baby-rooney, and next thing you know, she's kicking you out the door and moving in her new peach fuzz, and you will be sitting at home regretting that you ever came to Angeles City. But hey, it was quite the experience. So I do consider Angeles City a place for family fun. Stop the horses here, folks. Excuse me? Did you say it is not a culinary delight? Well, if you like Korean food, Angeles is the place to be. If you like Thai food, Angeles is the place to be. Indian food, the best burgers at Ollie's. Can you find this anywhere outside of Manila? Here you have a small city with a village mentality, with a ton of foreign food. So not only does Angeles have a lot of prostitutes, they have good food from around the world. And if you're in the mood for a culinary vacation, I do recommend the great Angeles City. Folks, I know that you have heard some hard stories in this video, but let me tell you something very personal. The strip clubs in Angeles are not all they are from our point of view. In terms of entertainment, these strip clubs should be shut down immediately. The girls inside signed up to be call center agents. After they arrived in Angeles, they were told that they are stripping and spreading for dollars. They have no choice but to comply. So next time you step into a bar on Walking Street, just remember, that could be your daughter up there. You could be bar fining your daughter. Anyways, folks, we will be a little less cringe on the next video, but sometimes the truth just has to be told. Until then, my good friends, keep it in your pants at all times. Wait for marriage. This is a channel of the Lord, His Lord and Savior. Until the next video, my good friends.